Three significant property management laws just took effect in California, so we're going to talk about how you can stay in compliance and out of trouble. Hi, I'm Brian Bean with Dream Big Property Management here in Riverside, California. Today we're digging into the most recent new property management related laws on the books in California. This legislation kicked in mid-year, so if you haven't already put your new processes and policies in place, now's the time. First up, new rules that restrict you from charging an outgoing tenant for damages to a property. Introduced as Assembly Bill 2801, this new law requires property owners and managers to take time-stamped photographs of your rental unit prior to a new move-in. It also requires that you take time-stamped photos after the move-out to show the contrast of before and after, and you must take time-stamped photos of the issue after the repairs, all before you can deduct repair costs from a resident's security deposit. The biggest changes here are obviously the before pictures. For all new tenancies starting July 1st, you have to have photographic evidence, but the timing is also crucial. The damage and after repair photos must all be provided in an itemized list with copies of invoices within 21 days of move out. This law also prohibits flat fees for such things as carpet cleaning or house cleaning. All deductions must be for actual costs to address damages to return the property to the condition it was in before the move-in, minus normal wear and tear. This law is about transparency and ensuring renters are not being charged unfairly, but the time restriction is what could sneak up on people. 21 days rolls by pretty quickly on some turnovers, especially those that require extensive updates to make a property rent ready. Make sure you have your processes in place to address tenant-related repairs first, and start testing out your equipment and software now to properly document and store records of homes before and after a move-out. By the way, if you had a move-in in July or August this year and you didn't properly document the unit prior to the move-in, then you will not be able to deduct repair costs when they move out in the future. Make sure you don't put yourself in that situation going forward, because if you improperly deduct from a security deposit, you could be liable for triple the amount and penalties. Next up, impermissible fees. Senate Bill 611, which actually took effect April 1st, prohibits property owners and managers from charging fees for such things as paying rent by check or for posting and servicing notices related to the tenancy. If you've been charging an extra fee when residents pay by check instead of online, stop now. The law requires that a resident be allowed to pay the rent with at least one method in addition to paying by cash or electronic transfer. And for those who opt to pay with a paper check, you cannot charge them an extra fee for that convenience. There's no doubt that electronic payment methods are the easiest and most efficient ways to transact for rent. A payer gets credit when they hit the button to pay, and the receiver doesn't have to go wait in line at the bank to deposit a check. Self-managing owners or their property managers may even incur their own fees to accept electronic payments. It's worth it for the ease of use, but not all residents have the ability or the wish to work that way. And if you provide rental housing in California, it's your responsibility to make those allowances for them. Serving notices to your residents also falls into this category. Under SB 611, if you serve a 3-day notice to pay or quit, a 24-hour notice of inspection, or any legally required notice, you are not allowed to assess a fee to the resident for the act of actually posting that on the property. These tasks are now just part of your cost of doing business. Lastly, Senate Bill 611 also covers military service members and their security deposits. And this is an important one for Inland Empire landlords, given our proximity to March Air Reserve Base and other nearby installations. SB 611 requires landlords to return any additional security deposit collected from service members after 6 months of residency, provided they're not behind on rent. So if you're allowed to charge more than 1 month's rent for a security deposit, and if any of your residents is active military, you must return the amount that exceeds 1 month's rent after they've been in good standing for 6 months, and rightfully so. First of all, California caps security deposits in many cases at just 1 month's rent, but mom and pop investors may be allowed to ask as much as 2 months' rent. Members of our military go above and beyond to serve this country. That sometimes creates less stability in the longevity of a lease or occupancy. But that's the price we pay as housing providers, and it pales in comparison to the price they pay for what they do. This small exception is the least we can do to make their lives a little easier. So those are the most recent changes to California landlording, and they won't be the last. At any given time in this state, there are dozens of property management related bills in varying stages of negotiation. Every year, a new group gets all the way to enactment, and we all just have to adapt. It's only accelerating, especially with the anti-landlord attitudes that seem to pervade in Sacramento. It's difficult for professional property managers to keep track, not to mention individual property owners. But it's crucial to stay up to date to make sure you are in compliance, that you're treating people properly, and that you're staying out of court. Put your processes in place to stay abreast of the latest legislation, and budget yearly for legal consults with a real estate attorney who specializes in landlord-tenant law. Or find someone like me to take on that oversight for you and manage the entire process. The cost of professional management is less than the value and the time savings for most property owners. If you have questions about anything you've heard here today, call me directly at 951-314-5402. I'm happy to share. You can also find valuable information on our website, dreambigpm.com. And if you'd like a free consultation about your rental home and the challenges you might be facing today, give us a call. If you found the information you heard here today useful, please do us a favor, like and subscribe so that we can help others just like you. Don't be accidental about your future, be intentional to your success.